Welcome to another edition of Speedbowl Weekly. I'm Adele Beth Green, your host for this half hour's fun and excitement of all the races here at the Waterford Speedbowl. I'm with the bad boy Kobyluck Racing crew. We're going to be having interviews with them and all your other favorite drivers. So sit down, strap in, and hang on. Speedbowl Weekly is next. A few weeks into the season here at the Waterford Speedbowl, but Jeff Diegielewski, driver of mini stock number 55, has already had quite a colorful season. Jeff, can you tell me, you've already had a win last week, but what happened to you the week before?
If I really have to talk about it.
You have to talk about it.
Yeah. It was just a difference in opinion on whether something belonged in the car or not. I still think it belonged, but it doesn't matter. I think what we did, we redeemed ourselves quite well by coming back the very following week and winning it.
Okay, so you suffered a disqualification, but tell me, for those of us who don't know exactly what that means, can you explain a little more further?
Well, after each feature, the tech inspector checks a few parts that he picks out randomly on the top 3 or 5 cars, whatever he chooses. And if those parts don't meet his rule book or standards, see you later. You lose your points, the money you would have won, your trophies, whatever. It's a bad night. But
you came back strong. Last week you won. Tell us about that.
Well, just like I claimed, what we had the week before didn't mean anything. The car is just hooked up, what we call. It runs excellent, handles excellent through the turns. It's got a good motor, obviously, and the main reason I believe is because I think I have the best pit crew out here.
Tell me what kind of car the pit crew is working on for you.
Well, this is a Volkswagen Scirocco. It's the only front-wheel drive Scirocco out here, and I don't know why everyone doesn't run one of these suckers.
The street cars alone are very fast.
Yeah, these cars are just, I think, designed for this type of stuff, and that's why we chose it. It's lighter than all the other cars, and obviously it has some power.
So what else have you driven besides the mini stocks?
That's it. Last year was our first year. We're not out here to become Dale Earnhardt's or anything. We're just here to have fun every week and do our best, try to be competitive every week. That's our goal.
How long have you been driving?
Since 16 on the streets.
No, come on.
No, this is our second year.
For real, you've been driving out here on the Speedbowl for 2 years.
Right. Second year, and you know, we've learned quite a bit. It doesn't take forever, but we've come a long way. And most of it is due, if you have a good car, you can learn very quickly how to drive, and I'm just fortunate I have a great car. I've got a wife that supports me a lot. I love you, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very humble Jeff Diegielewski.
Saturday's action would kick off with the mini stocks, led to the line by the 2X of Jay Nedworski and the 73 of Jay LaPlante. Nedworski would get the jump at the line with the 22 of Rob Perry moving under LaPlante to battle for second. Meanwhile, the remainder of the field was battling 2 and 3 wide for position. Today's first caution would fly on lap 2 as the 61 of James Pont would go around in turn 4. Back under green, the 11 of Terry Golis would take the long way around Nedworski to take over the top spot. At the halfway point, the 1 of Bobby Green would run down Golis and work under the 11 to take that point. Green and Golis would start to pull away as the next 10 cars were battling fiercely for position. The action would heat up on a late race restart when the 53 of Dan Darnstadt would get into the 22 of Rob Perry, sending both cars along with the 01 of Ernie Bertrand spinning into the infield. Bertrand would get the worst of it, ending up in the infield swamp. Green would go on for the victory, followed by the 2 of John Delana, Golis, Luke Tussing, and Al Royce.
Bobby, congratulations. First time out. It's been a long time since we've had you down in victory lane. As Joey Coates, Alan Coates down here. Bobby, it's been a long time since you've been down in victory lane. How long's it been?
Since 1993.
1993, a couple years absence away from victory lane. What can you tell us about the race?
I don't know. I got to do something with my chassis. It was tough. I was out to lunch by myself. I'm glad no one got near me.
It didn't look like you were out to lunch. You had the field pretty well covered. Once again, how about a nice round of applause for Bobby Green as he picks up the win in this afternoon's 20-lap mini stock main event.
From Ashaway, Rhode Island, Eric Edgerely. He's a driver in the Strictly Stock division. Eric, tell me, you've had a very interesting season so far. You've already suffered an accident. Tell us what happened.
Well, I came over on a Friday to practice to hook the car up a little more, and we had a rear shock brake, and we went into the wall backwards.
But you didn't suffer any injuries, though, did you?
No, the cars are real safe. They make sure that they are.
Even the Strictly Stock division has stringent safety standards?
Oh, absolutely. We pretty much have the same roll cages that a late model does, so.
All right. Okay. So you've also had a few victories, and what was your most recent?
3 weeks ago. It was just a heat race. We haven't won a feature yet this year, but it's coming.
How long have you been racing?
3 years. This is our 3rd year, the beginning of 3 years.
Have you ever driven any other division?
No, I'd never driven a race car before I came here.
What brought you to this?
Well, Jeff Heineman that owns the car had somebody else driving the car, and they got hurt, so I jumped in it and did well, and the rest is history.
Well, no kidding. Just jump right in and go. Nothing to it?
We qualified that night and did pretty well in the feature.
Well, now that you've done so well in the Strictly Stock, what are your plans for the future?
We're over here to have a good time. We're not ever going to be Dale Earnhardt. We're not really ever going to go racing, anywhere like that. So we're just, having a Saturday night out, having a good time.
Oh, come on, you're a young guy. You've got many years ahead of you to become as big as Dale Earnhardt.
Well, yeah, that would be true, but it takes a lot of money and a lot of connections to be able to do something like that.
Speaking of money and connections, who's keeping you running here tonight?
Agile Printing is one of our sponsors, Glorious Cakes, North Stonington Shell, J&N Enterprises, Wyoming Auto Parts, Weber Engineering does our motors, and Jeff Heineman is the guy that owns the car, so he keeps it really going.
Are you personally part of the pit crew?
Yeah, it's just my father, Jeff Heineman, and my girlfriend when she shows up around 4 o'clock. She does the windows and the tires. She does, unfortunately, she's not here yet. So.
Oh, I wanted to meet her. She does the windows and the tires.
Oh, she does it all. She does everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is how you do it. This is how you get involved at the Waterford Speedbowl. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, Eric.
Thank
Wish you the very best of luck. Maybe tonight we'll see the very first victory when you watch next the Strictly Stock division here at the Waterford Speedbowl.
Leading the Strictly Stock field to the line on the first would be the M22 of Fred Smith alongside the 86 of Ken Lenda. Smith would get the jump as the 17 of Dave Zemke would move up to pressure Lenda for second. Lenda would shake off Zemke and take over the lead from Smith on lap 2 as the action heated up behind the pair. The action in the back of the pack provided plenty of fireworks for the large crowd as the field battled 3 and 4 wide. Tonight's first caution would fly on lap 7 when the 65 of Eric Edgerely and the 7 of Ed Polio would come together in turn 2. Before the field could complete another green flag lap, Edgerely would again spin, this time in turn 4. After the incident, Edgerely was done for this night. On the restart, Zemke would challenge Lenda for the top spot as the pair battled into 3 and 4. Zemke would appear to break a wheel, sending him into the outside retaining wall. Zemke was okay, but done for the night. It would start to look like the field was stuck on lap 2, as on the restart, contact between the 22 of Smith and the 1 of Scott Cook would send both Cook and the 90 of Alan Coates through the infield. The caution would fly yet again as Smith and Cook would get together once again to bring out the yellow. Back under green, the 90 of Alan Coates, having recovered from his earlier spin, was knocking on the door, here battling the 63 of Jeff Cook for third. With 6 laps to go, Coates would catch and overtake Lenda for the top spot. Coates would go on for his 5th victory of 96, followed by Eric Webster 2nd, Paul Dorothy 3rd, Lenda 4th, and Jeff Cook rounding out the top 5.
As Alan Coates picking up his 5th feature victory of the season. Alan, you look almost as tired as you did last Sunday afternoon in that tire roll. Alan, did you join the gym after that one?
No, I'm retired from the tire roll. No more of that.
No more tire roll. You like running the Strictly better, huh?
Oh yeah, this is a lot better than that.
Alan, you started way back in the 21st position and work your way very quickly up front. How did you do that?
Flag drop, go. The full moon was making me a little nervous, but we're here. I don't know how we got here, but it's in one piece too.
Anybody you got to thank for the win?
Yes, thank my pit crew. I want to thank Hank's Auto Machine for the awesome horsepower in the car, Interstate Batteries, Peacock General, Chesterfield Country Cupboard, Chesterfield Package Store, Village Power Equipment, GH Trailers, everyone.
Well, there you go. Alan Coates not only has mastered it out on the track, he's also mastered victory lane as well. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Alan Coates.
Well, it's 8 o'clock and boys are out of home. Found a limo driver, mister, take us to the show. I done made some plans for later on tonight. I found a little queen and I know I can treat her right.
Sitting with me on a pair of Hoosier racing tires is Matt Kobyluck, 4-time feature winner here at the Waterford Speedbowl in his fancy number 40 late model. Tell me, Matt, what are the plans for today's race?
Well, get to the front as fast as I can and stay out there and hopefully win again tonight.
As opposed to what might have happened recently, tell us about, was it last week or the week before?
That was the week before last. Last week I won. The week before I had a little altercation in coming out of turn 2. Eddie Reed was on the inside of me, and you know it was close racing, and he actually probably thought he was by me, and he wasn't quite by me, and caught me in the left front and took the left front and just pushed it right over, and I basically went about straight into the backstretch wall.
You're all right though, you didn't get injured, did you?
Oh no, I've been in worse. Last year when Mark St. Hilaire ended up on top of me, that was the worst wreck I ever had, and I came walking away from that one, so you know I can hang in there, I guess.
Well, your car certainly looks like it's been through quite a mess, but it's a pretty safe ride, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well the cage is real solidly built. You know, we check it out every year when we put the new body on. We checked out at the beginning of this year. We put new door bars in it because the door bars weren't looking as good as we wanted it to be. You know, safety is a big factor because it's short track racing and it's local racing, but you still have the opportunity to get hurt on any given night. So you got to make sure that you're safe.
Well, you're obviously a contender here in the late model division, but I know that you've raced other races, and tell us all about that.
Well, last year I purchased a pro stock from Wayne Saveluck where I ran at Thompson for 2 races last year. And then over the course of this winter, we've hung a new body on the car, a Camaro body, and the guy that does my motors for the late model, Jigsy Beetham, he's putting together a motor for me for my pro stock, and I'm going to run it after, let's see, June 19th, I have a show up at Champaign Chevrolet with my pro stock, and then after that I'm going to run it at Stafford, and I've never ran Stafford before, so I'm going to try it up there, and if that doesn't work out the way I want it to, I'll go back to Thompson, because I like running there. That was a fun track.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Kobyluck. Hopefully tonight will be number 5 victory here at the Waterford Speedbowl. And don't forget to stay with us because that's what's coming up next, the feature from the late model division.
Saturday's late model action would begin to heat up on a lap 24 restart as the 51 of Rob Janovic would have the 3 of Tom Fox, the 40 of Matt Kobyluck, and the 27 of Ed Reed Jr. to contend with. At the green, Janovic's ride would bobble in turn 1, giving the top spot to Fox, as Janovic would fall back to contend with Reed and Kobyluck. Kobyluck would continue to pressure Janovic for second. A bottom shot in 1 would send Kobyluck spinning to bring out the caution on lap 31. On the restart, Fox's Monte Carlo would falter, giving the top spot over to Janovic, with Charles Bailey III second. Janovic would go on for the win, followed closely by Bailey, Phil Rondo, and Ed Reed Jr.
As he makes it around this 1/3 mile oval. Rob turning around, going to do a reverse. Last time you were down here, you said it wasn't going to be very long before we did it once again down here at Victory Lane. How about it? How about what? Hey, you're never tongue-tied or speechless, my friend.
That was just so awesome. You know, we won Blast Off, and I mean, of course, that was a big thrill, but I had to repeat. I had to show there wasn't a fluke and that we had to do it again. And Greg Teresiano, Ray, Jim, Shawnee, I mean, these guys worked hard. My brother wasn't here tonight. Greg Teresiano and I get a little help from Gary Espinoza, Bob Hayes, and we got the car dialed in. A little loose during the feature, but man, I'll tell you, that was fun out front.
And it looked like they had a good time. Anybody else got a thank for the win?
PC Lawn Care, Burr Plumbing and Heating. Of course, I'm reading it this way because they're in the back of the car. And I'll go around. Outpost Western Wear, Larry's Auto Machine, Larry's Motor has to be up front because that's what works. And listen, I want MSC Automotive, I'm sorry. And I got engaged Monday. So this is my fiance's present.
Okay, Rob Janovic Jr. Again, congratulations on the win. Go back and enjoy the effort, and we'll look to see you back here at Victory Lane real soon.
Yes, sir.
Don't let this baby-faced, youthful impression fool you. 25-year-old Tucker Reynolds is an up-and-coming modified champion. Don't be fooled. Tucker, how long have you been racing?
This is my 8th season now. We hope to keep racing, you know, and keep working towards the future.
What kind of car are you driving?
This is a modified here at the Waterford Speedbowl. The only thing it basically consists of is a stock automobile is a Chevrolet Cavalier roof with a Chevrolet power underneath the hood.
So we all know that you're an up-and-coming champion. That means what kind of plans do you have for this season?
Well, the beginning of our season hasn't started off exactly like we'd like to have, but we're hoping to turn things around, you know, and just look at it from week to week, and hopefully we can get our first Waterford Speedbowl modified win, you know, and go for more wins after that.
Now, this is not the first fancy vehicle you've driven. What did you used to race in the past?
Well, in my 8 years of racing now, I've raced everything from pretty much like an enduro car to pro stocks, late models, strictly stock type cars, and now I'm in the modifieds, and hopefully we'll move up to the real modifieds, the tour modifieds. These are what they call the SK modifieds, you know, and hopefully keep growing from there.
Have you ever raced in any other tracks besides the Speedbowl?
Yeah, '94 I raced a season at Stafford Motor Speedway, and last season I did some racing up at Thompson as well.
So what are your hopes and aspirations? Because you want to take the tour going, you want to get the tour cars going, and how about some big trophies? Is there anything in particular race that you want to covet?
Well, this season we'd like to, you know, concentrate right here at the Waterford Speedbowl, give it all our effort here. We have a second car being put together. When that car is done, we'd like to go and try Stafford a little bit. And there's some big races at the end of the year. Lee's Oktoberfest up in New Hampshire, which we got our first modified win at last year in the modified divisions. Thompson's got the Icebreaker and the World Series. We've already missed the Icebreaker, but we'd like to attend the World Series, and there's some big races at Stafford as well.
Well, obviously you have a promising career ahead of you at the tender age of 25. Tell me, how old were you when you first decided that you wanted to do this?
Oh, I've wanted to race ever since I was real little. I used to come over and watch my father race. It was just something that I'd always wanted to do. And the Waterford Speedbowl had a division. It was enduro car racing. It really wasn't much of racing. It was more like a demolition derby and an oval. But it was a division that I could afford. I could build a car for, and I built the car, and that's where it all started.
Can you tell us a little bit about your father?
Well, he should be coming out here pretty soon. He's got a car. He's got a bunch of work he's trying to get done right now. You know, he loves his racing, but he doesn't let that get in the way of his work.
Well, he's a former driver, isn't he?
Yeah, he's raced modifieds and late models, and years ago they were called Daredevils and Bombers and all these different names. He's raced a bunch of them over the years. And he took a extended stay. He stayed out of racing for like 14 years, 16 years, something like that. And 94, like I said, I drove up to Stafford. I was in his car. And I think that maybe put a little bit of the bug back in him to get back in the seat himself. So last year he drove for himself, and this year he'll be out up here at the Waterford Speedbowl too.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's in the genes. Tucker Reynolds, up-and-coming modified champion at the Waterford Speedbowl. Stay with us. Right next, highlights from the modified races.
Modified action on the first night of June would see the 66 of Sherman Forbell bring the field alongside the 62 of Chris Correll. At the green, Forbell would get the jump, followed closely by the 1X of Paul Ingalls. John Brower Jr. in the 716 would show some early muscle here, powering past both Correll and Ingalls on the outside. The night's first caution would come on lap 6 when the 49 of Russ Hawley and the 26 of Donnie Fowler, along with the 14 of Warren Lee, would get together on the front stretch. On the restart, Brower would get the top spot with the 19 of Moose Hewitt moving up for second. The night's second caution would fly on lap 7 for an incident involving the 72 of Kukta and the 27 of David Gaeta. With only 10 laps down, the 3 of Jimmy Broderick would work under Hewitt and set his sights on the 716. Jeff Pearl in the 71 would bring out the night's third caution with a spin in turn 4. On the ensuing restart, Broderick would win the drag race into turn 1 as Brower would start to feel the pressure from behind. This wouldn't be Eric Burntt's night as the 54 would take an impromptu trip into the swamp. Back under green, Broderick would go on for the win, followed by Jerry Pearl for second, Dennis Gaeta third, Bob Potter fourth, and Moose Hewitt fifth.
Jimmy, congratulations on the win. Jimmy, you started way back in the 19th starting spot. How did you get up front so fast?
I just took my time. First off, I lost my crew chief this week, Billy Stebbins, who's been with me for 6 years. And just to show what the team's made of, we came back strong. Mike Paquette helped us out. The team gelled together, and the car worked really well. I'm sorry what happened in the heat race with David Gaeta. We just got together. No big deal. Thanks.
Anybody else you got to thank for the win, Jimmy?
NEH, Wyatt and Company, Larry's Auto Machine for a great horsepower. You guys, everybody that helps me is the best. Honeckers, Baker Corporation, and I'd like to thank the Lord. Thanks.
And thank you so much for joining us for another exciting edition of Speedbowl Weekly. I'm Adele Beth Green. Don't forget to join us next week. We'll have more of the feature races at the Waterford Speedbowl, plus more interviews with your favorite drivers. Don't forget to tune in next week. Good night.